Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hey, ladies.
We are back.
So good to be back with you. I am loving this connect.
Yes.
Very fun.
I miss you so much. How are you all surviving? Are you doing good? I want to know. So just be sure to just either text us or talk to us, get back to us. We just need to know how you're all doing. I'm telling you, it's been the hardest thing to not see all your faces. So
It definitely has been. I have been texting people and talking to myself a lot, actually, to tell you the truth. I have sort of narrated my day on occasion to myself and then catch it, and I'm like, okay, what is going on?
I need people.
I need my girls.
Too many words in our head. Yeah, life has changed a little bit. Had some funny shopping experiences here recently. I'm sure you all have stories to tell. So, we just went through this big TP scare, toilet paper scare, And so I determined in my heart that I was not going to join in the fray. Absolutely was not going to go there. And I knew that in my garage, I had a Costco pack of toilet paper. And you know how big those things are. And I knew it was sitting right there on the shelf. And so the whole time I was like, I ain't going to even get in the fray. I'm not getting in the fight. I am absolutely not. And so, a couple weeks of toilet paper scare and all these pictures of empty toilet paper shelves and all that. I'm like, not me. And a couple times in my head I thought, people, we can at least go out and use a leaf if we have to. What's the big hairy deal, right? So I went out though to supply our bathrooms, and I walked up to my shelf and I realized that my big huge Costco bag of toilet paper was empty. Or very close to empty. And I had a moment of, I gotta go shopping. And I thought, no. There's enough rolls to outlast this crazy time. So the next morning I ended up at Hagen at about 6 o'clock in the morning, long story, but I was there. And I'm pushing my cart and I happen to go past the toilet paper aisle and it's completely empty, except for one package sitting there.
Did you?
I'm serious. I had to sit there and I looked at it and I went, do I? Do I not? They keep telling us not to hoard. Is it hoarding if I take it? I mean, I could probably make it another 3 or 4 weeks without it, but it's just sitting there. It's calling my name. So I looked around, I made sure nobody was looking, and I grabbed that baby and I put it in my cart. So it was a little bit of a hoarding. How about you? How you been doing?
Toilet papers, I went to Costco for something totally different. Didn't know that they were only letting a few people at a time in the store. So by the time I got in, it's been 45 minutes or so waiting outside. You touching the nasty cart till you get all the way to the door and then they wipe it off. You're like, what? My hands are, can you wipe my hand too? So as soon as you go in, they sort of corral everybody off to the side and there's an employee standing in front of a large mountain of toilet paper. I did not need any. We were fine.
Did you buy one?
They put it in your cart. And
you didn't have a choice?
No, they were just like, here you go. And the next person, and here you go. I'm like, well, I guess I won't have to come back for a long time.
So now we know where to go.
I have plenty. If y'all run out, come see me. More than enough. We can share. It's good.
Okay.
We're good.
Well, we're going to just take a moment right here, and I am going to exit stage left, and Miss Sandy is going to bring you a word.
All right. Well, thank you. So fun, you guys. It's been a very long time since I've got to do this. Bear with me a little bit. I did not realize I was going to be doing this until just a few minutes ago. But at our house during this crazy time, we have been talking about communion a ton. So much that, we started doing it with some friends and it grew organically. There were about 9 of us. After about a week, we were every night just getting on our phones, just, good old fashioned like conference call, talking about communion and building each other up in it. And then it just started growing and growing in our hearts, and my husband put it out there. So if you haven't seen it already, join us. There's a Facebook group through New Horizon, and it has a link to the Zoom meeting. Every night at 8 o'clock, we've been taking communion with about 20 or 25 of us. So if you want to join, let me know. But one of the things that's been really big in my heart in regard to communion is in Genesis 14. So I'm going to read this first, and then I'm going to back up just a little bit. Genesis 14, verses 18 through 20. Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was the priest of God Most High. And he brought it to Abram. Abram had just recaptured Lot and finished a big battle. And this is the first time that we see the bread and the wine used in a covenantal scenario. Okay, so he blessed Abram. He said, "Blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." And Abram gave him a tithe of all. So a couple things. A promise is one-sided pretty much. And a promise can be pretty easily broken. I don't know. I'm sure all of us have had either made a promise or had a promise made to us that has been broken. And the damage that can do to a relationship or to your heart. A covenant is different. It is deeper. It is binding. A covenant requires both people to participate, or both sides to participate in it. You're both involved. Somebody can make you a promise without you ever even asking for it. But a covenant requires two people's hearts coming together. A covenant also, if taken seriously, and especially in Bible times and what we're looking at, a covenant encompasses, or like in your marriage, encompasses everything that each person brings becomes one. It takes the boundary of the two and puts it into one giant boundary, where they come together and they meld into one, so that everything from both sides belongs to the other side, belongs to both of them. So I'm going to back up just a little bit then and look at this again. Melchizedek was the king of Salem. Salem can be translated a couple of different ways. It can be translated shalom, which is it's peace, it's nothing missing and nothing broken. It's wholeness in every part of our life. It can also be translated righteousness. So forgiveness, but beyond forgiveness, where that robe of righteousness is put on us, that royal robe of righteousness, where we can take our place next to Christ as who we are. And so Abram received the body, the bread, and the wine, the blood, from Melchizedek, from the king of Salem. So he also received that peace and that righteousness. Now what had been Melchizedek's was his as well. And Abram reciprocated by giving a tithe. And the tithe represents all of what we have, actually. And God counts that 10% as us giving all. It counts our energy, how we earn what we have, or how we get what we have. It's in many ways, and oftentimes, our identity, who we are, we're giving to that person as well. And then so Abram not only, he received the peace, he received the righteousness. And then if you skip a few verses ahead to chapter 15, verse 1, he received more than just those things. It says that after these things, so after this covenant, the word of the Lord came to Abram. Stop right there. He received the word of the Lord. So his heart had been opened through this covenant, and then he received vision. The verses following, God is giving him a prophecy he received. But it's also, direction. It's wisdom. He received answers. I don't know about you, but I ask God questions all the time. And part of that covenant we have with him is that he says he'll answer us. And sometimes I put my fingers in my ears, or I yell louder than God is talking, and I don't hear him because I'm throwing a fit or whatever I'm doing. But when I come back to that I received that peace, then I'm able to hear what God is giving to me through that covenant. The next thing he says, do not be afraid. So he received deliverance from his fear. And again, we can choose whatever we want to choose, but God gave him deliverance from his fear as part of that he received. The next thing that he received, it says, I'm your shield. He received supernatural protection. Just as Lot and Abram were in covenant, and Abram had gone after Lot's enemies and made things right, God does the same thing for us. It was a picture of what we're receiving, that he goes after what's been harmed in us and he can make it right. And the shield is not just in front of you, but a shield is all the way around you. It's on every side of you. And so the word of the Lord came to him. Do not be afraid. I am your shield. I'm your exceedingly great reward. So God also gave him provision in that. Part of that covenant and that bringing together was his provision. Through that, because it was combined effort. With God on your side, you got this. He's got this. We just receive it. So when we jump forward to Matthew 26 and the blood of the new covenant, and especially verse 28, and I don't have it marked, but it says it's to receive the blood, that this is the new covenant that's for the forgiveness of sins. So it's everything and more, because it's the new, it's the fulfillment of what we see in the Old Testament. But the verse prior to that says to take it. And I had this pointed out by a dear friend the other day, that taking it is an active thing. And so we hear the phrase all the time, take communion, and we kind of just think, pick up the cracker or drink the juice. But it's a take part in this covenant that God has presented to us. Take part in this covenant. Receive it actively. If somebody hands you a gift and you just leave it on the table, it really doesn't do it any good. You have to take that thing and open it up to see what's in there and enjoy it and embrace it and use it for yourself. So I would just encourage you in your home, personally, join us on the Zoom, call some friends, however you want to do it. Study it out more, but just it doesn't have to be special juice, it doesn't have to be special crackers, but get something and make that quiet time and settle yourself and realize the gift and the covenant that we have from God, that we can do this every day to just be a reminder of what we're meant to walk in, what He's done for us. I love you, girls. Embrace this, take it, use it, do it. We'll see you next time.